Yes, it's 3 o'clock, y'all. 3:02, because it's on color people time. Giving thanks and praises to the Most High, Jah Rastafari, His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie, the first Empress Mennonite. May they be with us today as we peel back some layers. I thank everybody who has decided to join today. It has been a battle to just get right here in front of you. Believe that. But the devil can't win. Get under my foot. Yeah, man. Yeah, Rastafari. So I'm going to open with a little bit of information that I found to be something that everybody knows. Everybody knows Bob Marley. Everybody. And some people know that a lot of his music came from His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie's, hey Mo, Emperor Haile Selassie's speeches. There is a lot going on right now in our world. I'm grateful you're here. There's a lot going on in our world, and in order to take this as an opportunity for us to be able to curve the narrative so that we can control what is actually going on, it's important that we understand that we have more power than we think we have. And so today we're holding space around some social science questions that are present in this moment of history. We're making history. We're literally living in history, which is pretty cool, right? And so the questions that we start with, or the question, is how does multi-generational trauma shaped by slavery and sustained by present-day systems continue to influence behavior, health, relationships, and collective decision-making within the BIPOC, which is Black, Indigenous, People of Color community? And what does collective healing require of us now? Okay. This conversation is grounded in the research of Dr. Joy DeGruy, whose framework of post-traumatic slave syndrome helps us understand not only where we've been, but how we move forward together. That's a big deal. And we just want to slow that down. So, multi-generational trauma shaped by slavery, sustained by present-day systems, how it continues to influence behavior, health, relationships, and community and collective decision-making within our community, within the BIPOC, B-I-P-O-C, that is Black, Indigenous, People of Color community, okay? And what does collective healing require of us now? That's important. So the first part we're going to talk about is post-traumatic slave syndrome. And I'm going to give it to you like really clear. Post-traumatic slave syndrome has been caused by the experiences that have happened to African Americans from the time we were taken from our motherland. For those of us that believe that is our motherland, it is true that there are some people of color, that's why I say Black, Indigenous, people of color. Some have actually, they were here already, right? So we know, for example, my family, on my mom's side, she is Cherokee and African American on my mom's side. So that'll just give you a piece, like I get that. But my soul also resonates with Africa. Akibulan, yeah? So post-traumatic slave syndrome is caused by centuries of chattel slavery, continued systemic oppression, and the lack of opportunity for collective healing. So it's important that we understand collective healing takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of inner looking, self-reflection, inner healing, because what has happened to us through slavery and continues to happen is that there is a lot of distrust that has been placed inside of us, right? Because if you think about it, when we were younger, at least there was one point where some of the teachings that came out from the Black Panther Party, for example, I don't know who these Black Panthers are now, so I'm not saying go hang out with these people. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they came from, right? So that's not what I'm talking about. But when we came out of that time, we were still in community, right? We knew our neighbors. Most of us don't even know who our neighbors are. They look like us. They have struggles similar to us. And we used to look out for each other. And I think now more than ever to have that conversation in like real time is important, right? Because we're going through a very interesting shift here on this planet at this very time. So instead of asking what's wrong with us, right, as a people, like why can't we reach these goals, I think more than anything it's important for us to focus on research that's been done by academic scholars, people who have this information, doctorate, their doctorates. Dr. Joy DeGruy is someone whose research can be trusted. And so what post-traumatic slave syndrome asks is what happened to us? What happened to separate us from community, right? And so one of the things that happened to us is something that we call hypervigilance. Now, I didn't know what this word meant, so I had to go look it up. I knew it was something that wasn't great. Blessed love, yes I, Rastafari love. Yes I, Calvin, what's going on, brother? Yeah, man. So hypervigilance is being in constant state of alert, always scanning for danger, even when no immediate threat exists. Now, think about this. We all know this as African Americans, as BIPOC, so Black, Indigenous people of color. We all know this. First of all, I saw a documentary on this. We literally know when we go into a neighborhood what the other exit is, okay? We never go anywhere without knowing that. This is people of color, all of us. We're just constantly aware of what if something happens and I need to move. When we go into stores, a lot of times we're aware. If I need to shift, what does that look like? And sometimes this even shows up in relationships, So, so we're always on guard. We have a difficulty with relaxing. I'm pretty sure most people can relate to that. We have a difficulty in trusting one another. And then we have strong reactions to authority or tone, right? So if you talk crazy to me, and trust me, the reason why we have to have this conversation is because the opposing energies of collective unity, they know this. They set it in our DNA on purpose for a time like this. So I'm having this conversation because we're going to get in front of whatever it is that they're going to attempt to do to try to get us to cause them to allow to do more harm than what they're already doing, right? And so all of that hypervigilance is just, it began as protection. This is how we protected ourselves. We protected our children. We protected our husbands. We protected our wives, right? And our people. But it is a survival response, right? And yet it's not a flaw. It's very important that we understand that. Like hypervigilance is good. We do want to make sure that we know where our exits are. And I think that's for all people right now, all across this globe. We have to have a plan beyond just what is originally shown to us. So with post-traumatic slave syndrome, we've gone over that there's hypervigilance. So look it up if you didn't hear the part before. Then we have this internalized oppression and negative self-talk. I'm definitely someone who has experienced this, right? And so it sounds like I'm not good enough. This is just how we are, right? We don't deserve better. Like something like that. Like, oh, and honestly, the way that it sounds like to me is like the way the elders used to say it. They used to say, well, baby, I guess we just gonna wait on God to make it better. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it right there. All right, so then the next part of why this learned behavior, this learned inner chatter of how negative we speak to ourselves, that's not our truth, right? And the reason why I say that is because when I look at Africans from Africa, like just come over within the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they don't sit and talk to themselves in that negative way. There's something that happened to us when we were stripped of our land. There's something that happened to us when we were stripped of our native tongue, you know, and our ways in taking care of one another in community. All right. So why this matters now, the reason why we're even talking about this, and I think it's important because as a spiritual leader, my name is Heavenly and I'm the chaplain of the Rastafari Livity International Interfaith Ministry. The reason why this matters is because healing requires rewiring. We literally will have to rewire everything that has been given to us, taught to us, that is now inside our minds, that keep us from even being able to relax, right? We have to do this because energy follows thought. Now, those whom are opposing us, they know that. And that's the reason why they keep us so charged all the time, right? Because they literally know that if you cannot calm your nervous system even for a moment, it's much harder for you to manifest what you want, to have healthy dialogue with people who we, you know, want to have healthy dialogue with, to even to do some of the peeling back and self-observance. Like, there's no time because we're always on, you know, on alert. So, but let's just talk about positive self-talk. Positive self-talk and mental awareness is becoming aware how we speak to ourselves, interrupting inherited narratives, and choosing thoughts rooted in truth and possibility. Now, freezing. I was trying to get some air over here. Now, what we hold in our minds becomes what we believe, and that's very important. I think the reason why a lot of us have not stepped out of our comfort zone as far as like seeking other information from other spiritual practices like Buddhism or Islam or Kabbalism or Rosicrucians, like just the Gnostic. I mean, like seeking information beyond whatever main thing we've been given is that first of all, we're afraid to do it because we're afraid like we're doing something wrong if we seek something else. And it doesn't mean you have to change who you are, like if you're Christian or Jewish or Muslim or Hebrew, Israelite, like all these things, just be that, right? Or if you're Buddhist, just be that. But what's more important than anything else is that what we hold in our minds, it does manifest. And we can try this out so many different times. I want you to start to pay attention to what you think about every single day. What takes up space in your mind, right? And start to pay attention what manifests. Even what we say out of our mouths, right? Energy is so important. People who study quantum physics knows that. The mind and the heart have to connect with a vibration. And I can give you an example. When 2012, it was 2012, and I was with my first husband, Big Hakeem, and we wanted to buy a house. We started talking about it about 2010. We got married in 2008 when I graduated from medical insurance billing and coding. I went to school for that, but the place don't have its thing anymore, so it don't even matter to mention them. Point being is, I graduated school, we got married, and we started to talk about how we were going to have an exit strategy so that our children would not have to struggle like we struggled, so that our children would have an opportunity to take the time that they needed to be able to figure out what life was, right? So we knew home ownership was important. And we also knew one day we wanted to build a home in Africa. It didn't happen. That's okay. But what the takeaway from that was, how we manifested that house. We ended up buying a house. we manifested that house from a vision board. Like literally, I had one of those big old white pieces of paper, you know, what we use for our children for their school projects. We had one of those. We started watching The Secret. Like, even if we were falling asleep at night, it was almost every day that we would just play it over and over again, right? Just to put it in our mind. And then we made a vision board and we put on there what we wanted to manifest. We put how many bedrooms for our house, you know, what his business, his trucking company, like everything we wanted. We put it on this vision board. I kid you not, within 2 years, let's see, we got 2009, we got, 8, we got married, 2012, we started really focusing on the house. By 2011. By 2012, we bought the house. So I had to go back a little bit because 2013, I think, is when we got divorced. So it was like we bought the house and then we got divorced. My point is, we manifested it because we were thinking about it. And you know how we did it? We would sit in front of this vision board and together. And I know this may sound super corny, but this is how it works. This is why energy and rewiring our brain is just a big part of how we're going to win this thing, right? We would sit back and we would hold hands sometimes. Sometimes he would have his hands like this, you know, right? He would do different things to just like, we're in this with God, right? And we would visualize what it would be like to live in that house and what our children would say, what stupidness they might say too, you know what I mean? Because like we knew their personality. So it's like you really literally are picking up your family energetically and placing them in this space, and you're in this space with them, and you just feel all of the emotions, the joy, the sadness, the cleaning, like you're in it, right? Whatever it takes to put yourself in there. And we would do this regularly. Boom, boom, boom. Sometimes him without me, sometimes me without him, but every day we took time to do this. Man, we built a commercial freight trucking company, and I ain't know nothing about it. And he was like, I want a trucking company like my daddy. And so we built this thing up from the ground, and I learned a lot. I became amazing at what I was doing as the associate operations manager. It was just a fantastic time, and we were manifesting everything we wanted. He had a BMW. I had a nice vehicle. My children had nice clothes. We had headboards that were carved specifically for each child with an Adinkra symbol on them. Like, it was so much, it was such a joyful time, right? And it all started with us starting to rewire our brains. Because my mom, in truth, I love my mama, and she was Black Power all the way when she was younger. And yet, by the time we came around, my mom was a warrior. Like, a warrior, yes, but a worrier. Someone who worried about things. And I think that, you know, part of that, you learn what your parents are, right? So we had to unlearn that. And then he had parents that were verbally abusive, and so he was trying to unlearn that. You know, it was so many pieces, but it was intentional practices to unlearn everything that we inherited from our parents that was not going to help us meet our goals. And so post-traumatic slave syndrome is something that has been done to us, and we have to undo it. We have to rewrite the story and grab a hold of this narrative that they put in front of us and figure out how we're going to come through. So we start to have conversations so that we can figure this out. So another part is we need to have patience with one another. I talk about this all the time. We are learning at different speeds. I'm going to say that again. We are unlearning at different speeds. Okay. And many reactions are rooted in history. Many of the things that we respond to that is the opposite of patience is something that we learned from chattel slavery. Patience creates safety for growth. Patience creates safety for growth. I cannot overstate that in any way. My sisters have held space for me for over 10 years as I grew, because that was the only way for me to grow. The only way. Like, they saw me in so many different stages of my life. Like, I've been so many different things in my life. And they held space because they knew that I was seeking God. They knew that I was seeking truth. They knew I was seeking, how can we unify? They knew it. I mean, that was stated and clear from very young. This is what I'm trying to figure it out. You know, instead of, oh, that's just the way we are. That just never seemed like it was enough for me. That's just the way we are. I know that my mom and my dad and all my people there are the most loving people that I've ever experienced in my life. That cannot just be the end, right? So there's a responsibility with healing and rewiring, because energy is real. The whole universe, multiverse, is energy. And so there's a responsibility. And even if you don't know, I'm teaching you now so you can go do your research, watch your documentaries, whatever it is you need to do. Look up, what did I say? The Secret, because that's going to help you. But energetic responsibility and universal law. Let's just talk about that. What we hold in our hearts and our minds is what will manifest, because thoughts carry energy, words shape reality, and intent matters. Yes, Shantae Bird. Yep, man, Rastafari love. Hug and kiss your mama and your sister for me, you know. Yeah, man. Yes, And so, it's important to know that harm is not always physical. Energetically, we can sometimes harm people. Our thoughts about people can cause harm. I mean, it's so big and it's so important that we really understand how powerful we are, right? So something overall as our 12 months of Kwanzaa, I want to make sure I get this part in, because I'm not sure. It's 3:24 and I got more to say. "12 months of Kwanzaa." So for those of you that don't know, I didn't celebrate Kwanzaa this past year. I have celebrated Kwanzaa every year for a very, very, very long time. But this past year, I just didn't feel like I wasn't in community enough to see us actually practicing the principles. So I felt like it would be fraud had I shown up and been like, hey, happy Kwanzaa, get all cute and everything at them 7 days or 6 days, I can't even remember, 7 days, whatever, right? All them days, we up there, and the whole year we didn't do nothing, right? So I decided to utilize this month, January, for collective works and responsibility. Collective works and responsibility. We are in a moment in history where individual healing is not going to be enough. It's just not going to be enough. Collective unity and responsibility are required for this time. And we move forward, all of us, through shared work, not isolation. African people, BIPOC people, indigenous people, we literally thrive from the communities that we hold. We thrive from them. Just as the same that it could be the opposite, right? But we need each other. We need each other at events. We need each other at gatherings. We need each other to continue to show up, right? And even if it's hard, even if you're not together, even if you're broken, whatever that means, because God will utilize you as you are to reach whom you're supposed to reach. It's a conversation I had with someone earlier today. They said, so I'm summarizing it because I'm not trying to give up all the pieces. So I'm going to give you some of the pieces because I don't want to disrespect them if they're watching. But they said, so you would die for one person, maybe save them. On their side, we didn't save them. But maybe save them, maybe not save them. Because you know that what's happening to that person is wrong. You would put your life on the line. Yeah, without a doubt. Now, the reason why I shared that is specific. I believe that we're all responsible for one another. And I believe that God sees everything we do. Everything. He knows everything we think before we even think it, before we say it, before we do it, right? So, to me, if I were to jump in front of a bullet, as she would, to save someone, one person, who is a child of the Most High God, I do believe my God will be proud of me. That's how serious it is. And so even coming on here right now, for all I know, I just jumped in front of a gun to save somebody else, just by coming on here and saying, hey, we have to do some collective healing. And so some of the things that are coming up, I will share with you on, so that we can begin to gather, okay? So there is a flyer that I'm going to put up later on that's going to talk a little bit about the event that's coming up. But it is at, let me get my notes because I'm ready, kind of, sort of ready. But we have some events coming up where we're going to be collectively coming together. So on what is today, the 24th? So on the 29th of this month, which is 5 days from now, at the Dunham, this is for if you're in Cleveland or if you're coming to Cleveland, this is important that you understand this. Dunham Museum Barn, which is 6709 Euclid Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio 44103. There is a Celebration of Life event for Olajuwon Hakeem Nkomo, and we would like everybody who can come out to come out. That will be held from wait a minute, make sure I tell you the right thing before I lie. From 5 to 8 p.m. I do believe, and I'll verify that information when I put it on the flyer later on. Okay, so then we have that event, and then on the 31st, we also have an event at Africa House International, Cleveland, so you can look that up. That's going to be held from 2... Wait a minute, don't let me lie. 4 to 6. There it is. From 4 to 6 p.m. And so these are events where we're starting to come together again at the beginning of the year. And I know the weather is not that nice right now. So if you don't, or if you're not able to come, that's okay. But we need to start to show up at some of these events where we can have some dialogue, we can have some conversations, we can reconnect as community. Healing is collective. And so we want to hold space for that. Healing is not only personal, it is historical, it is energetic, it is collective, and we choose as we come together in our minds and hearts to create this world together, because we are taking responsibility for what we think, what we feel, and what we put out in the world. And that is more important than anything else, because I have no control over anyone else, but I definitely have control over what I put into the world. And so Chant the Truth Entertainment with the Rastafari Livity International Interfaith Ministry alongside Africa House International. We have some really great things coming up. We have another podcast that's going to be coming out. You guys have been able to tune in to our very first podcast. This is a live, but everything's being recorded, so hallelujah. And so we just thank you, for tuning in. And and being here with us, because I can't do it without y'all, and that's just the truth. You know, I want all of us to know that we're important. You have value, you have purpose, and it's the simplest thing. I was sitting with an elder in St. Croix once. It's my sister Aoife's mommy, and she said, Heavenly, everybody has a purpose. If we were building something, let's just say, together in a community, and all you could do was sit there on the hill and kick the rock, the stone that's going to help build that house down, kick it, that's good enough. That's good enough. So what I'm saying is, if all you can do is kick the stone so that it can roll down the hill, so that the mandim who's at the bottom of the hill, who's building the house, can get that stone easier and he don't have to climb up the hill to get it, then let us get the stones to the people who are part of this building of community. Let's help them build community. So I am a person who's here to build community. I hope that you tune in more to our gatherings. I have no idea if we're going to do any of the other things virtually. I know that I will be doing once a month. I'll come on here and we'll, have some conversations. Rasnaya, Rastafari love. Yes, he says, good day, blessed love, ones and ones. And my sister Mo the Muse, Mo, pronounced Mo, says, Ashe, oh! Yes, So, I give thanks. I give thanks for being able to show up in this moment and just hold space. And please go back through it, you know what I mean? Peel it back. Let's have some more dialogue. We are our own answer. And something that I wanted to share before we got out of here is something that His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie shared in one of his speeches. And this specifically is on justice and equality. He said, we can never rest content with our achievements so long as men assert on racial grounds their superiority over the least of our brothers. Selah, some food for thought. So let us build, sisters and brothers. Let us build. Let us come together. Let us hold space for one another. Past our petty prejudices. Because remember, everything it happened to us. Not what's wrong with us, but what happened to us. Things happened to us. For some of us, it happened, and we're talking about DNA, and it happened in our cells, and it was transferred over. Rastafari, I know, it was, transferred over through our DNA. Like, post-traumatic slave syndrome basically says that trauma stays in our DNA. What happened to us didn't go away. So some of us haven't had to live the trauma in this lifetime, but some of us have. And we're still dealing with the trauma that happened in the past with our ancestors. So we're carrying ancestral trauma. And then now we have our own trauma. And then we look at television and they give us more trauma. Somebody got to step up and say, hey, we got to start working through this trauma together. Because if not, what they have set in place to dismantle us as human beings, and so we won't let that happen. I will live and die for something that's bigger than me. Because the people that exist on this planet are bigger than me. The animals, the ocean, the trees are bigger than me. And so I'm going to stand in solidarity with all of the I. And we are carrying ancestral wisdom and strength. Yes, I know. You done know. We do. And this is why I said yesterday, I said we are, or it wasn't yesterday, it was the other day when I was outside. I said we are the Harriet Tubmans. We are Jesus. And I know that's going to piss somebody off, but understand what I'm saying. If you are Christ-like, then be Christ-like. Flip over the tables. Tell the truth. Be the light. Be the hope that other people need to see, so that we can overcome this moment collectively. And yet, it is very important to understand that African healing and African unity, and Akibulan, I want to make sure I say that, because we know that even the word Africa is not even what we were actually given. So Kemet, you know, so many other ancient names that we really want to call out. But I just want to say, our healing is the healing of all the people. It's so important. Why do you think they would do it so well to make sure that African people are so separate from who they are? BIPOC people, indigenous people, separate them so much from their land, their sovereignty, their spirituality, which was part of their livity. It was even, Europeans even stripped themselves of it. And I don't even understand that, right? Because they knew they were about the herbs and the land, and so I don't even understand it. Not the point. Babylon has fallen, so that way of living and operating with one another cannot continue. And so we have to be the answers in which we seek. We can no longer wait for somebody to fix this, right? So please tune in. I am going to most certainly be posting flyers that will give our people some information of things that we're going to be doing here collectively in Cleveland, Ohio. We do want to link up with other people from other places. So look into Africa House International Cleveland if you want to, you know, look at the organizations, the nonprofits in which I am connected with. And I love the mother of that organization, the founder, Mama Aku. She's amazing. And so the event that we have that's coming up is going to be a celebration of life for not just her son, but for all of us that are living. Something that someone said to me once, back when I was suicidal. Not anymore. Rastafari live. Thank you, Daddy. He said, Heavenly, we live on because we carry on not just our dreams. We carry on the dreams of those that have left us. So remember them. And I mean like the ones who was like our niggas, you know what I mean? We carry on their dreams. I don't want to forget that. I don't want to forget Tony Rosenborough. I don't want to forget Antonio Rodriguez. I don't want to forget my papa. I don't want to forget my nana, my abuelo and abuela. I don't want to forget them. Yeah, I want to hold on to their visions and their dreams of us and make manifest the best of my life. They gave their lives for us so that we could be here now and do something really great. And Rasnaya says, Christ is a title of exalted man and woman, I must live according. My sister's gonna love you. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And yet we have to softly say these things, because there are some whom are going to try to attack just that little bit. And I'm just saying, like, no hatred, buddy. I want to be like Christ. Why wouldn't you? If you are a follower of that, like, why wouldn't you? I want to be like Christ. I want to be like the emperor, my Christ. I want to be like the empress. You see, my Christ, they won. Yeah. So I live this way, hoping that if we live out loud and we show other people that even when you feel like you don't have anything else to give but a word out your mouth to uplift somebody else and to unite the people, that's important. And so maybe remember that you're important. I'm important. Truth is, Rosnaya say truth is an offense, not a sin. Real truth is polarizing to those who don't experience it and live it. You're right. You're right. And so, and always remembering this. This is something that I said to my sister's other half. I said, hey, you know, y'all children is peculiar, you know. We're going to show up in rooms and say things that seem a little bit off the hinge, but it really be what needs to be said. We got to be real. We got to be raw in our truth, because they're raw in their lives. Yeah, same energy. We're giving it back. You know what I mean? Rastafari. Yeah, man. Facts. Mo says facts, boo. Yeah, man. So we give it to them straight, and we're grateful. We're grateful for this time. It is 8 degrees here today. I'm sitting on the floor, and there's a hole in the ground. So if you see me shiver every once in a while, because we live in an old house, and some of the air, I have the blanket there on the floor. I'm sitting on a yoga mat and 2 blankets and a blanket there. But my God, it is 8 degrees over here. So after we're done with all of that, I just want to say give thanks and praise to the Most High God, who's known by many names and praised in many ways. Thank you for giving me the courage to come on today, Father God, Mother, Father God, Creator of all. Thank you for giving me the courage to continue to push through, which was a very interesting mining. Okay, but thank you for allowing me to come on here. Thank you for the support of my community, my sister, the Rastaman, my best friend, my other best friend, Calvin, for Brother Bird, because he know I love him, and his sister and his mama, them, and all them. And I'm just so grateful for all of the I who showed up and just held space. And I pray that all of the I, whether they find it here, now, or later, on the forward, you found it on time. The conversation is beginning. Let's do this work. And I give thanks, and I pray that the Father guide our thoughts, our hands, our minds, our energy, our breath, so that we can show up and create the world in which we actually want to make manifest. Thank you, Sima. Let's make the world that we want to make, y'all. It's going to take some work, but we can do it. And something that I also wanted to say, because I think I was started to say it and I stopped really quick, is that I don't know if you guys realize that Bob Marley had songs, you know, that were written by what the Emperor said. If I could find it, because it's pretty long and I don't know all the words, so I'm not going to lie to you about that. But until we stop separating each other and judging each other by things that you can see with your eyes, instead of looking at each human being as a human being. As long as we find divisions, you're going to find a division. But if you choose to find the commonalities, you will find the commonalities. And those commonalities will mean so much more than the divisions. And we're going to lean into that. Lean into that truth, right? I pray protection over all of you, every day. Stay prayed up. And even though they call it hypervigilance, I'm not saying don't be aware, because right now we need to be aware, but we also need to have a space and hold spaces where we can take down some of those guards so that our nervous system can reset. So let's try to create more spaces where our nervous system can reset. Yes, to divide and rule. Only plan a house divided is a house that will fall. Ain't that the truth? Rastafari love. A house divided is a house that will fall. Ja, Rastafari, no. And so let us not be divided. Let us be one. You know? And I want to thank our brothers and sisters that are out there on the front lines. I just want to say that across our nation, across the globe, but specifically here in the United States, we've had some brothers and sisters that are Caucasian that have lost their lives. I believe I just saw a second guy today, a man, lost his life for this. So remember, we carry on the dreams of those, Renee Good. We carry on the dreams of those. So, and I want to say, and I'm only saying that in this moment to say, like, in our communities, this happens all the time. Which is crazy. And now, unfortunately, they're getting a chance to see this. They're getting a chance. Our Caucasian brothers and sisters are getting a chance to see this in a way that is painful. And I am so sorry that it had to happen this way. But it is written that it was going to get a little messy before it got better. So then there are those of us who are here literally to help it get better, even in the mess. So that on the other side of this, we have information that we can take with us to be able to help us transcend that moment too. Yeah? Let us do that. And Mo, I love you too. Across all time, space, and dimensions. Forevermore, you know. Sila. I'm grateful for you. So, she almost made me cry because I love her. And she knows this is important to me. My sister, that's my sister, y'all. Go ahead and check her out, Miss On. Yeah. So, I thank you all for tuning in. I am going to hop off. I'm freezing. I got to get up off this floor. Yes, I weathered the storm. Don't you know it? Man, I was trying to stay on like 20 more minutes, you know. I actually only have 10 more minutes. Technically, if I look at it, I only have 10 more minutes. I wanted to stay on with you guys for an hour. I wanted to give you a good, smooth hour. Now, out of everything that I said, if there's anything that you want to say, anything that you want to share, Ross Naya is free up. Jumping jacks. I could do some jumping jacks, couldn't I? Y'all want to see me do jumping jacks? Okay, fine. Because that's creating joy and not freezing. Huh? Man, you know I would do it. Woo, baby. Yes, hold on. Let's do some jumping jacks. Here we go. Because it's cold, y'all. Y'all ready? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. And here we go again. Boop! It did work. I actually feel amazing too. Like moving some of that energy. Yes, I am funny. Thank you, MJ. That felt better. I had to shake off some of that stuff. And so, what else did I want to share with y'all? Oh, you meant when I was done. Girl, you know I'll be on this Johnny on the spot. What you talking about? Anyway, I love y'all. And I think that it's important that we live that free. That even if you feel like you need to jump up and do some jumping jacks, because that was the only thing that was going to keep you from freezing to death because it's 8 degrees outside, by all means, go and do it. Okay, cool. Hallelujah. Next time, Mo, just give me the cues for after, because I'm going to do it on camera. Yeah. Life is life, and y'all, we got to make joy every day. I laugh so much by myself. And I remember there was a time where I couldn't. Like, when I was by myself, I would be thinking about all the things that weren't right. And now I just see all the things that are good. All the things that feel good. And it doesn't mean that I don't have things to overcome and challenges to overcome and things that I need to grow from or whatever. It just means I choose joy. I choose joy every single day. Every single day. And it doesn't mean that I don't cry, because I cry pretty almost every day. Laughter is we best medicine. Yes, we do have to keep on the higher vibration, on the higher frequency. I must stay on a higher vibration and higher frequency. We're literally in that, and that was the whole point of, you know, even trying to hold space today, or not even trying. My sister was saying, trying is a failed attempt. You did it. Yeah, yes, love is a choice, and we must give it and show it. Yes, Rastafari. You done know. And yeah, you're right. And so we choose love, and we choose light, and we choose truth, and we choose peace, and we choose all of those higher energies, because we know that word sound is power. We know that thoughts create things, and these are things that the ancient ones knew. These are things that when we talk about secret societies, they know that. They know that. That's why when all of the Masons and all of the OES, all of the ancient, the ones who are gathered collectively, all of them that I know, they do their best to stay happy, because they know that it creates something. We have to know that it creates something. Yeah, man. Thank you. I'm 42 today, y'all. I'm very grateful. I want to say that. Come a long way. And I got a long way to go. But I feel good about how far I've come. I do. And becoming is every day. His Imperial Majesty said that. Becoming is not an is, he said. It is a continuation. Yeah. European corrupt the Kemetic sciences. Most secret society gets stole from Akibulan. Give thanks, Rasnaya. Thank you. Thank you for the earth strong blessings. Yeah, man. So, yeah. But so, you know, we want to teach what we know to our people so that they can have the powers to write the narrative the way that we really want it to go. I want my narrative to say that we won. We won collectively. We won intentionally. We won consciously. We won because we realized that we had the power. We realized that it was in our mind and in our hearts. And as Mo the Muse says, becoming is a continuation. Yes, I'm never going to stop becoming. Like, if anybody wants to know, I will always grow. I will always evolve. I don't want to stop evolving. Something that my Islamic sister said, which I love her. She's one of the greatest Muslimas of all time in my life. She's the one that gave me my Shahada. She said, seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. I think I was 21 when she told me that. And I'm 42. I'm still seeking knowledge from the cradle to the grave. And I'm happy about that. Because the more that I learn, it actually debunks the things that I was taught. And it helps me to navigate a world that is attempting to systematically keep I and I oppressed. And yet, it really can't. As long as I keep my mind and my heart in alignment with what is already my birthright. I'm a wealthy woman. I have great success. I'm loved by many people. I say so. Jah live, Rastafari. And when I die, you know what people are going to say? They're not going to just talk about the things that I had and the things that I accomplished. Because I will accomplish many more things than what I've accomplished now. They're not going to talk about that. They're going to talk about how I made them feel. How I made them feel safe. How I held space for them. how I held their hands and prayed with them, how I reasoned with them that made them go deeper, how I told truths in some of the rawest ways that it made even them uncomfortable. But it made them look at themselves, and it made them rethink some things. I'm going to make my mark in this world. All of us have our place. Mine is a little radical, but positively radical, spiritually radical. Because Jah children are peculiar. And we know that if all of this has happened to us, all the things that they did to divide us from spirit, from humanity, ones and ones, to really see each other from the earth, all of that, they did all of that. How you think we gonna undo it? You better be peculiar. Yeah, that's how we gonna win. That's how we gonna win. The revolution. This is what Rasnaya say, y'all. I love this man, you know. It's my brother. He said the revolution forward from collective mindset and collective action. This is why it cannot be televised. It can only be lived. The revolution cannot be televised. It can only be lived. Now, if they put a hidden camera in my house, they'll see it every day. But it can only be lived. We teach through our life. I'm not going to preach to you and tell you to do something. It is a, you know, you need to. And look, I'm going to give you some tools. I'm going to teach you about His Imperial Majesty. I'm going to teach you about some of the other spiritual teachings that I've learned. We learn about the Upanishads, the Vedic teachings, which are amazing because they are the ancient teachings, right? Come again. I'm going to teach you everything I know. I'm going to teach you everything I know. I'm going to teach you my shaman stuff, if you pay attention. Everything. Because when I die, there are people who are going to carry this wisdom in their bodies and their minds and their souls, and they will continue to carry it on. And yet I do believe I'm going to see miraculous things happen in my lifetime that's going to remind me, oh my gosh, woo, our God is a living God. And I'm going to get to see some real unity. I believe in it. And not even believe, because I would say, because my Iya Tikoa, a Rasta woman, she would say, to believe is to believe in a lie. So it's more than believing. Like I said, I hold a vision that is so clear that I see it with my eye. I hold it in my heart. I speak it with my mouth. And I hold space in my community and my family, the ones who are close to me, to make this thing manifest. And when I forget, I'm surrounded by people who remind me. And that's the reason why we come together. That's the reason why we come together. Because we have to be the reminders for one another. Leonard Howell, the Gong Guru, bring the Hindu teaching to Rasta, alongside the Coolie man and woman. Yeah, what to get brought through the slave trade to the Caribbean, ones must over all paths are intertwined. I'm so grateful that you know that. I'm so full of gratitude because my sister Mo the Muse, we were just talking about that. We're the ones that have been bamboozled to believe that there is a separation. There's no separation. It's all one. We all one. And that's why I can't be still and be quiet and not say something and not attempt to organize and centralize and not teach about collective works and responsibility. What I'm doing right now, this is collective works and responsibility, because there are people who I've reached and connected with. There's no other way we would have known that we were on the same vibration had I not said something. So it is important. And I do believe that I will be able to make a change, actual tangible change to my community here in Cleveland, Ohio, just by being me. Because they got to see me, you know, they got to see me grow from, like, really when they started to notice me was when I was a 13-year-old mother of twins, right? My children are amazing. I love them. They're some of the most beautiful souls you'll ever meet in your life. Amazing. And we grew up together, basically. Even though I raised them, I was being taught by my mom how to be a mom. A lot of hiccups along the way. And they turn out to be some amazing beings who look out for me. The reason why I can even show up today, right here, right now, is because of my twins. My twins saved my life. Because my path here on this planet is so very important that the devil was working on me from young. At 12 years old is the first time that I tried to take my life. God gave me twins the next year. First time I ever slept with a man. Twins. Because God knew I needed a lifeline that was living, that I had to fight for in order to stay here just to get to this point. I tell them all the time, you guys are the most amazing, beautiful, blessed gifts I've ever had in my life. And I didn't know that when I was there, 13 years old, belly all the way to my knees, had no idea, no understanding really what was happening. But everybody kept saying, God got something for you, girl. I remember that. God got something for you. You must be important. And now I get it. And so I'm grateful. Yogis and Hindu bring ganja and dreadlock to Rastafari before one's truly overs the mystics of this part of the Livity. Yes, what they call them, the ragas. The ragas over there in India, the ragas, the Hindu, like big long natty dread, my son. They walk on coals and saw fire, and so the man, it was a mine. This is what I'm saying, like the man just walk over some coals, man, he ain't burnt, because in this world we have so much power in our mind. Belief is important, like to help people understand that what you believe creates your actions, your responses, your thought processes. And I would say we're going to say believe, but the belief can become a knowing if your actions follow through with what you say you are. If your actions can come through with what you say you are. And I think that's the key. I know that some of you one day will be like Jesus and walk on water. Hallelujah. Yes, I believe it. I am that. Rastas are mystics. Some of us, you know, we all have different ways, you know. But I think at the core of it, we are mystical people. And that's why we hold the crown so serious. And that's why we give thanks for the Father. And the Mother of Vibration is so much bigger than us. And we know in order to unify humanity is going to take those of us who are saying, like, I'm dealing with the heart. I'm dealing with love. My sister, I think you're brilliant. Yeah. I think you're brilliant. And you're the water bender. But I am an Aquarius. So, you know. Anyway. I hope that we got something good out of this. I believe that we got something good out of this. I feel like I did a great job. I moved past 4 o'clock. Matter of fact, 4:06, because I came on late. Because remember, Color People Time, I was here at like 3:02, 3:03, not 3 o'clock. And I would tell you, Ross 9-8, for anybody who worked with me, tell them this. I'm giving you this secret because I really, really want to win. And I told my sister this secret to me today. If I have to be somewhere at 6 o'clock, please tell the people who telling me to be there that I got to be there at 3 o'clock. because I'm probably not going to be there till 5:45. Give me a window. Because my soul don't work like that. Like, I have to trick myself in order to show up for things on time, okay? Because what is time? But an illusion anyway. And I just go with the vibe of the thing. And because I go with the vibe of the thing, you got 5G and all these other things that be throwing people off, man. Let me tell you, literally 2 minutes before I hopped on, I just brushed my teeth. And I will promise you, and the reason why I tell you that is that literally I am fighting the demons and the devils and the wickedness of this world every single day. Overstand this, man. When I tell you there's something really, 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 really serious, right? Is that when you're in this thing and you for God's people, we have to battle things that nobody talks about. Nobody talks about. And it seems simple. She should be able to brush her teeth. Right. I should. And when I go away and I'm in the St. Croix, I never had no problem with it. Perfectly fine. When I go off in my Zen spaces here, perfectly fine. But when I'm in the battlefield, boots on the ground, connecting and collecting my people, because Josh said, go gather them. He said, gather them. I'll never forget it. I heard it. When I got boots on the ground and I'm not in my little comfy illusion world and I'm out here, I fight him just to show up every day, just like everybody else. To do the most simple, basic things, but they're important. So pray for me, because I'm praying for y'all. Island time is well different. You're right. Rasnaya, I still on island time. I don't think I'm ever going to be on any other time. And the reason why I say that, because island time ran with your soul. Africa is like that. I heard that too. Akibulan is like that. We go with the vibe of the thing, man. If the vibe ain't right, the thing shift, young. So we go with the vibe of the thing. And I love that because I've been protected because of that. And so I'm grateful for that. All right, y'all. We did good. Everybody showed up who needed to show up. Those who wanted to hear heard, and those who have not found it will hear it on when they need to. And so I'm grateful for that. And so I look forward to reaching next. Well, I look forward to two different things: posting the flyers for the events that I said that we're gonna that are coming up, which is the 29th. I think that's a Wednesday, but it could be a Thursday. I don't really know. The 29th, there's an event, and there's another event on the 31st. Each one of them being hosted by Africa House International, Cleveland, alongside, and I'm just adding myself to it. I'm not on the flyer, but Chant the Truth Entertainment, Rastafari, Livity, International Interfaith Ministry. If they want me to speak, I will. If they don't want me to speak, I won't. But we want to hold space to be able to do some healing. I know that one of them is a healing arts situation, and because I was so focused on just trying to get this done, I cannot even like pull that information out the ethers. Like when I tell y'all, I was battling up until I got on here. But I will also say my best friend is everything. Girlfriend came and she said, "Are you okay?" Before I go and do what I need to do. And I turned to her and I had tears in my eyes, and she said, "You better not cry. You got this." I was like, and I was like, I am so grateful to have my ace and to be in her space regularly, because she knows that I have a sacred mission. She believes in me. And to be around people who believe in you, man, that's worth everything. And so I pray more abundance for that woman, because she most certainly, right now, while I'm building this ministry, she is taking care of me. Thank God for her. Yeah, not too many people will. None of my husbands would. They were like, "You want me to do what so you can do what for God?" But this woman who sometimes forgets how strong she is, how beautiful she is, gives me space to rest my head. Safe space to rest my head while I build this. May she be blessed eternally. Allah be merciful to her. Alhamdulillah. Rastafari no. Yeah. All right, y'all. We are the spiritual soldiers. Soldier. We is the spiritual soldier on the battlefield. Don't know who to frighten, but we still slew the devil in I and I spirit. My son, then my brother says so. And that's how it go. MJ, I can't wait. Mo, I can't wait to be able to take you to St. Croix. It is an experience that will change your life. For real. Change your life. Change mine. Anyway, so I'm going to close up. And I just want to say the word sound is blessed Sabbath. Because trust me, when I say, my son, Jah holding me, you know, blessed Sabbath, Jah holding me. I pray that the Most High God come in, the creator of all come in, the universal one, the source of all that is, come in. And see our efforts and guide us so that we can have more joy, more love, more light, more peace, more freedom. And that we stay humble and patient. Humble is not a bad thing. Humble and patient on this journey towards ushering this new heaven and new earth. And we all thank you for allowing us to be here in this time. I thank you so much that I'm no longer suicidal. Let's just say that. Rastafari. That thing is long gone, man. Thank you for allowing me to now know that when those thoughts come up in my head, that is just the devil trying to take me out because he knows that I have a mission. Thank you for the people that pray over me and that send me protection every single day. Thank you for those who have spoken into my soul to bring me into a place in which I broke the chains of the darkness that was over my mind and where I couldn't think and I couldn't remember. And now I can think and now I can remember. And I just thank you, Father, for bringing me through. And so I pray into each and every person who showed up, and the ones who haven't showed up, I pray into you more protection, more love, more light, more joy. Rastafari love. Selah. Yeah, man. Jah Rastafari live. See. Lord exhibit. Yes, I. Sing bet Selim exhibit. Yemesgin, peaceful Sabbath to all. Yes, I. Peaceful Sabbath to all. Thank you all. God bless you. And I will holler at you next month, but doesn't mean like now that I'm getting my feet wet again, I ain't going to see you sooner. It just means that we're going to do this monthly. So I look forward the 4th Saturday of every month, 3:00 p.m. I look forward to seeing you all again. Jah live, one love. Yes, I, His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie, I live. Truth. Rastafari. Jah bless y'all.